Hello, Sister Moss's class. This is Carson Roylance. Well, really, this is an AI voice reading a script that was written by Carson Roylance, but whatever. When I, Carson Roylance, was in the Behavioral Interventions class, and we were presented with the Behavior Change Project, I immediately looked for an app to help with it. However, I wasn't able to find one, so I built one myself. I showed Sister Moss, and she decided that it would go well with your behavior change project, so now you get to have it as a tool. I gave it the name Quest for Success, and I was able to put it in the App Store, but today we'll look at it from the desktop perspective. One thing to keep in mind about this app is that I built it for myself after I finished the behavior change project, so not everything in the app will apply to the project, and not everything that you have to do for the project will be in the app. Because of that, I won't go over everything, and you can explore the rest if you so choose. To use fancy vocab, this app utilizes a token economy, a variable ratio schedule of reinforcement, and classical conditioning to assist with personal improvement. But let me show you how this actually works. Let's start with the custom tasks in the Tasks tab. Here, you will most likely put in the behavior that you want to change for the behavior change project. This could be anything: doing the dishes, reading your scriptures, talking to women, whatever. But for now, let's have take out the trash as an example. When you take out the trash, you tap on that green check mark and you get coins or tokens for your token economy. This is what it looks like. The confetti and sound are the part of the classical conditioning. Unfortunately, the confetti is a little glitchy on the mobile version, so there is a setting to turn that off if you would like. I wish I could make it better, but my major is psychology, not computer science. Maybe I'll fix it one day. Anyway, up here, you see the quick report. This is for spur-of-the-moment things that you have to do but don't want to bother to put in. For example, you might look into the sink and see your dishes and think, ugh, I don't really want to do my dishes now. But if I do them, I can give myself some coins. Now let's go to the best part, the reward. Let's go up to our hamburger menu in the top left and head to reward. Now, setting the exact reward cost is easy enough, but let's go over it. You want to think of how many times you want to do your behavior to earn your reward. Let's say that you feel like taking out the trash 5 times is worth ice cream. That means we want to set the reward cost 5 times the amount of coins that you earn for your behavior. In this case, 20 coins is the payout for taking out the trash, and 100 coins is the price of ice cream. Now, let's move on to the part of the app that makes this app different from a mere tally mark counter in your Notes app, the variable reward schedule. Let's head to the Settings tab. In the Settings tab, at the very top, we have this thing called Risk of Zero Rate. This gives us the variable ratio schedule throughout the entire app, and it gives us the opportunity to thin the schedule of reinforcement. Considering that you're in Sister Moss's class, I don't think that I really need to explain the importance of that in helping you master that behavior that you are trying to change. In the app, I have programmed 4 settings with different degrees of risk, as you can see here. The 4 settings are the 0, 25, 50, and 75% chance of zero. Now, I have added another sneaky little feature. You can program a different setting for each task. Let's go back to the tasks now. Let's go to this little edit button. Here, there are 5 little settings. By default, this will set on the global setting, which is the slider in settings. The other 4 settings are the 0, 25, 50, and 75% chance of zero. Now, that slider will probably only be useful if you are working on more than one behavior, so that might not matter very much in the project. But before we move on, there's another setting here that can change your experience with this app, and that is the reward number. Reducing this number over time is a great way to go from deliberately reinforcing this behavior to having a mastery of it. Now, I'd like to share a little of my experience with the app. Maybe this can be found in the research, maybe it's just how I work as an individual, but I thought that it might be good to share with you what you might expect. I have found that when I put a behavior on a variable schedule of reinforcement, I can get mildly frustrated when I don't get the reward. Almost like, no, I earned that reward. In fact, in the beginning, I found myself tapping the button until I got the reward that I felt that I deserved. Perhaps that's part of why the variable schedule of reinforcement works. But regardless, if you find that you're like me, you'll have to resist that temptation. A little hack that I found around this, though, is that I am more willing to increase this risk of a zero if there is a bigger reward. Let's use taking out the trash as an example again. If I find that I do a decent job of taking out the trash, I will move the slider from 0% to 50%, but I will increase the amount to a little more than double. In this case, I would change the reward to 50 coins. It's double plus a little extra incentive to be on the variable ratio schedule. Knowing that it averages out to more coins than before makes my inner Mr. Krabs happy. After a while of doing the behavior, I will reduce it back to just double, which is 40 in this case. And after a while of doing the behavior, I will reduce it to less than double, just to further master the behavior. Now let's talk about the app itself. It is available on Android, but not on iPhone. Sorry. In order to put it on iPhones, I would need to pay $100 a year, and that's a little bit too much for my ADHD side quest. However, I did find a way to get it to download to your computer. This is not convenient in most cases, but it is useful in one very significant case: homework. Let's say that you are writing an essay, and every time you finish a paragraph, you want to tap that button to try to get some coins. Going to your phone to tap that button is a trap. The chances of getting distracted with something else are incredibly high. Therefore, having it on desktop is incredibly useful, and it would still function for whatever behavior that you do away from your computer. And by the way, doing homework on a variable ratio schedule is a much more enjoyable experience. I'll set a small goal like writing a few sentences, set the risk to 0 to 75, and whenever I get coins, I open up a bag of chocolate chips and I eat a few. On occasion, I get a little disappointed when I finish my homework and I want more chocolate chips. Anyway, enough of that side tangent. Let's talk about how to get the app on desktop. In the description of this YouTube video, which hopefully Sister Moss will share with you, I will put a link for the app, which will look like this. Kinda funky, but again, this is an ADHD side project of someone majoring in psychology, so what can you expect? It will bring you to a website that looks exactly like this. If you don't want to download it to your desktop, the website should save your tasks and coins and stuff, but who wants to open up that tab every time? From here, you might be able to see this button here. Click on this. It will bring you to this little thing here. Click Install, and you are good to go. If you don't see what I showed you, that is okay, because there is another option. Let's go to the 3 dots in the top right corner. Let's go down to Cast, Save, and Share. Now there should be a button that says Install Quest for Success, and you should get it. I haven't done it before because I don't have a MacBook, but there should be a way to get it on MacBook too. I don't know exactly what that will look like, but AI does a fantastic job of solving tech issues, so I don't doubt you can make it happen. Now, a question that I get about this app is, will it give me a virus? That's a fair question. Let's face it, it was made by someone majoring in psychology. But the file was put through the Google Virus Scanner, and they deemed it good enough to put on their App Store. So, in my opinion, if it's good enough for Google, it's good enough for me. Anyway, there is one final thing to share with you that has nothing to do with the behavior change project, so I put it last. Of all the little details that I have added to this app, this is the one that I am the most excited for. I put a gratitude journal on a variable ratio schedule. As some of you may know, a gratitude journal is seen as a great mental health practice with surprisingly strong effects. However, it can be a rather difficult practice to maintain. It can feel like just another task in a busy day. So the hope is to increase desire through a variable ratio schedule of reinforcement. But for now, I hope you enjoy the Behavior Change Project and find it meaningful. Have a good one, and thank you for your time.